Welcome. In this screencast, I'm going to be providing you with some instructions for completing your first lab for geology. Now, as you're getting started, there are a couple things that I just want to talk about with the labs. So this is an online class, and if you log into our classroom, you'll see that there is a copy of the lab that's saved as a Word document right here in our course. So I'm actually in the week 1 assignments, and I've scrolled down to assignment 1.2, which is the lab exercise. If you are someone who feels very comfortable typing your answers on assignments online, then by all means, please just download a copy of this lab and just type away your answers. When you're done, you're going to be saving that assignment as a .doc file. If instead you are somebody who likes to write down your answers and you like to be able to hold pieces of paper and, as you're working, I really recommend that you go to the Truex bookstore and you purchase a copy of the paper lab manual, which is for sale for about $10 in the bookstore. Now, this lab manual includes color images when you need them, so they're going to be at the very end of the lab manual. Mine's not currently in a binder, which it is 3-hole punch, so it can go into it. For those of you that are going to be completing the labs by hand, I have no problem with it. All you'll need to do when you're finished with the lab is to scan or image your work so that I can see it clearly and you can upload it into our online classroom. For those of you with a scanner, you can easily scan it and then save it as a PDF and then upload that PDF into our classroom. If you don't have a scanner, but you do have a smart device like a smartphone, you can download an app called Scannable, Scannable. It's a free app. It works great, and that basically will use the camera on your smart device, and you just hold it over the document that you have, and it will take pictures of every single page that you want scanned and saved as one single PDF. And then you can easily, you'll just email it to yourself and then you can upload it into our course. That app works great, and it's definitely the one that I recommend anybody with a smart device to look into. If you don't have a smart device or a scanner, but you do have a digital camera, you can just use your camera and save it as a JPEG, and then you and I will work together to figure out what you need to do to get those saved as a PDF. It just works out better. It's a lot faster for me to provide you feedback if they're already saved as PDFs. And I'm just trying to think, the other option is some of the photocopiers on campus do allow you to upload your documents, and instead of actually photocopying it, it will just scan it and then save it as a PDF and email it to you. I will be checking in the Student Achievement Center to make sure that that's something that you can do, and I'll let you know if that's a possibility as well. So again, recommend the lab manual if you are a handwriter. Next, you will need to have a copy of the lab kit for our course. So it is a geology class. This lab kit has a lot of really cool samples in it, and those samples include mineral samples, rock samples, and fossil samples. For each of the labs that use the lab kit, you'll need to make sure that you're using the samples that are listed. So in our lab this week, we're using samples 18 and 19. So when you open the top of the kit, you can set it down. You will have a glass plate, a ceramic plate, a little magnifier, a big foam pad, which I like to set the samples on top of when I'm doing my work with the lab kit. And then you'll need to pick out samples. Let's see, I said 18, okay, 19, and 20. Okay, so you'll just set those aside. Make sure you only use the samples that are listed. If you try to use other ones, it can be very confusing because not all of them are igneous rocks if you're doing the igneous rock identification, or not all of them are fossils. So make sure you use the correct one. All right, so with that said, if you do not have a copy of the lab kit this week, you can use the digital photographs that are posted in the week 1 blog, or if you are not looking to purchase the lab kit this semester, there is a copy of the lab kit that is on reserve at the Truex library. So you can go there, you can check it out and use it in the library to complete your lab. You do need to use the lab kit because spending time with these samples is how you will actually learn to see, in this case, the minerals inside of these igneous rocks, and to see those differences firsthand. Okay? So with that said, the rest of this little video is going to talk specifically about our Lab 1, which is looking at observations and the scientific method. Each lab is going to be set up very similarly. You have some objectives that you'll be reading through. You have materials that you need. So we do need our magnifier this week and a calculator as recommended and some sort of ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can look for one online. If you just type in digital ruler, you should be able to find one that you can hold your samples up to the screen to get a measurement. All right. Now the pre-lab assignment includes a couple of tutorials. If you click on these hyperlinks or you type them in to your web browser, they will open up and have some useful tutorials for you to go through. In exercise 1, you're going to be making some observations. So I do expect you to write a detailed description of your samples, and it says 1, 2, and 3, so put 18, 19, and 20. Do them in order. I can usually figure out which is which. If we start with 18, whoops, we'll take a look at it. We can see that this is a sample that has different colors on it. You should be seeing some mineral grains. You don't have to know what all of these things are, but do your best to describe what you see. And then I'd like you to put a drawing or a digital photograph of your sample in it. And again, you can take those pictures in many different ways and just put it in there. And then I do want some measurements. And for this one, I'm looking for length, width, and height, okay, just to get an idea of what you're looking at. All right, then you're going to answer the questions that are below. So what do the samples have in common? How are they different? You don't actually have to know what they are. Just make some observations. That's really kind of getting back to what you actually see in the samples. We make observations before we start to do our scientific studies. All right, in exercise 2, we're going to spend some time calculating density, and we're going to do that by looking at water and ice and differences between those. We're then going to go and look at the densities of igneous rocks, including some of the samples that you're already looking at. You're not going to actually know which is which, but you are going to be using some data. Down here, I've given you some masses and some volumes, so you'll be calculating out the density for those. And then the last part of our lab this week is to do some unit conversions. So we do need to be able to do these simple calculations. I have some help that's stored in our lab instructions. If you need them, excuse me, it should have been in the lab. But if you do need some help with running your calculations, please contact me. Don't panic if these are more difficult for you. I am here to help you, and I'd be very happy to sit down and go through them via Skype, phone, email, on campus, whatever you need. Just let me know. Okay. With that, once you get done and you've typed all your answers in, or again, you've handwritten on it, make sure you save your assignment. I like to see it with your last name and then, Geology Lab 1, or even last name and then just Lab 1. Save it as a .doc or a .pdf file, and then you'll be uploading it into our online course. And you do that at the very bottom, and you're going to just be clicking on this link right here. All right. And then you scroll down, you can see it's worth 10 points. What I want you to do is to upload the file by clicking the Browse My Computer. Once you click on that, it'll open a series of pop-ups. You'll find your saved assignment and you can upload it, and then you can add some comments. Please note that anything you type in here I won't be seeing until after the assignment is due on that Monday night. So if you have questions about the lab you need answered before then, please send those to me by email, phone, Skype. Ask those questions beforehand, because if I get it here, I won't be able to help you before you submit your work. With that, you're ready to go. I wish you luck on Lab 1. Please ask questions when you have them. You can post those questions to the I Need Help discussion forum, or you can send those to me by email as well. I wish you luck and happy learning.